And I'll say it, and I'll say it again. The opening paragraph of the FAA Act of 1958 directs the newly established agency, quote, to maintain safety at the highest possible level. Not the level the airlines want to spend money on, not the level that they think is okay, but the highest possible level. That is the gold standard of aviation safety worldwide. That is what we expect the FAA to live up to. Not some international standards organization, not something that ICAO does, but that FAA is the gold standard for the world. I made it clear when I took the chairmanship of the full committee that oversight would be an important part of our work, and so it has become. We are going to hear this morning from another generation of whistleblowers, dedicated professionals who have put their careers on the line in the interest of safety, willing to risk what is necessary in the interest of the safety of the traveling public. They will present testimony that Southwest Airlines, with FAA complicity, allowed at least 117 aircraft to fly with passengers in revenue service in violation of federal aviation regulations. Documents they presented to our committee, which I reviewed last summer and continuing through the fall, set in motion an inquiry into the most egregious lapse of safety I've seen in 23 years. The details will be forthcoming from the witnesses. They suggest to me that the voluntary disclosure initiative instituted with good intentions by FAA has migrated into complacency at the highest levels of FAA management, reflecting a pendulum swing away from a culture of vigorous enforcement of compliance toward a carrier-favorable, cozy relationship. This shift from vigilance occurred at the very time that airline maintenance has been massively outsourced by airlines, by specifically network carriers except for American Airlines, with less FAA enforcement, less airline management involvement, and outsourcing to both domestic and foreign repair stations. I understand full well from many years of doing this work that FAA probably could not hire enough. Maybe they have some 3,000 inspectors. 10 times that many might not be enough to conduct the in-depth, vigorous surveillance that is needed. But certainly more than we have now are necessary. And yet, the partnership program FAA initiated with the airlines that can be beneficial to safety has drifted into a system that is inimical to safety. FAA needs to rethink its relationship with the airlines and with the other aviation entities which it regulates. I was astonished to read off the FAA website their mission statement. Our customers are people and companies requesting certification, other aviation services, or information related to the products and mission of flight standards. The only customer, if you're going to use that term, for the FAA is the air traveling public. Airlines are not customers. FAA is not providing a service to them. Bedrock responsibility of the FAA is to ensure safety for the traveling public. FAA needs to clean house from top to bottom, take corrective action, hire more inspectors, and give them a safety mission. Congress should, and following these hearings, our committee, I will draft legislation, and I hope we can have bipartisan concurrence in it, to establish a long post-service cooling-off period for FAA inspectors before they are allowed to go to work for the airlines. This is something that FAA could do by regulation, but it would take them way too long to do it. Just as we do with other executive branch personnel, we should do it for FAA. Senior management at FAA has to develop a better way to monitor local airline oversight offices and avoid lapses in compliance, such as we saw with Southwest. It's no mere coincidence that FAA's recently initiated audit began just after news of our hearing was revealed to the public. We are going to look in depth at the factors that brought us to this point in the course of this hearing. At that point, I yield to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Micah.